Hi, welcome. In this week's video, we're gonna be talking about what I find is the best makeup so far of 2022. These are makeup that maybe there might be one or two that were not necessarily released in 2022. Maybe they were released at the end of 2021, maybe. But I discovered them in 2022 and I tried them in 2022. And I do have a small box of items that I haven't used yet, which might end up being really good and my favorites, but I'm not including them in this video because of course I haven't tried them. So it's just the items that I personally used and fallen in love with during 2022. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers doing videos similar to this, like Michelle Wong and my friend here in YouTube, Fontaine. I'm going to add the links of their videos down below in the description box because then you have a different perspective of what they find is the best of 2022. And you might find some similar items, some items in common, but that's okay because there'll be other items that maybe they don't talk about. So let's start before I keep on rambling. Let's start with the list. I'll try not to make this video too long because we have a few items to go over. I'm going to start with face products, foundation, tinted moisturizer, etc. I'm going to start with, now I can't find it. I did discover this year the Sissy Paris primer, but that one is not new. It's been out for a while, so I'm not going to be talking about that, but I do love it. It's been my favorite primer that I've discovered this year. But I do want to talk about items that are more recent. So let's start with number one, the Chanel. I believe this might have come out at the end of 2021 or the beginning of 2022. I'm not exactly sure, but I do want to talk about it because I do love it. It's so hydrating, so light, so refreshing. Has the exact proportions of formula and water and all that. It's really hydrating. I do have dry skin, in case you don't know, so I love makeup that is really light and really refreshing and hydrating, and it's gonna stay all day long. I do love this product a lot. I love the package. It's made out of glass, so it's really nice, and I like it. I like it very much. And sticking with Chanel, the next item, I'm gonna bring them together. This one's more recent. This is the Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. This is sort of reformulated from the original. The original I also like, but this one I like more because it's still very light and refreshing, but I find that it has more staying power and more pigment than the other one. So there's more coverage in this one than the first one. And I love it. I've used it a few times already. You can see that I've used it some. It's very refreshing, very light. I love it again because of my dry skin. I need all that hydration and it stays on for the whole day. It gives me a beautiful glow but without making it looking oily. I just love it, and I love the technology behind that. It's just like burst of like little bubbles of color and they burst as you apply it. I love that. I think it's fascinating, and it's also very good on my skin. Another complexion product that I love. It's gotten some negative feedback, but honestly, without offending anybody, I think that maybe not everybody's gonna love everything, you know. Makeup is relative to the people. I mean, you know, what might not work for you might not work for me. What you like, maybe I don't like, and vice versa. And I think that's what happened with this next product that I want to talk about, which is the Jones Road What the Foundation. Some people didn't like it. Some people criticized it, and it got some negative feedback. But I just think maybe it could be the case that it just doesn't work for them. But I think it could be also the fact that they don't know how to use it, or they expect too much of it. It's not supposed to be a full coverage foundation. And I love the way it smells because it doesn't have any, I don't think it has any added fragrance. It's a natural fragrance, natural scent. I love it. I love this foundation. It's very light. It's almost like a tinted moisturizer, but with a little bit more coverage. I love it. I've worn it a bunch of times. Maybe you can't tell because you don't need a lot to do your whole face, but I've used it many times. It is very light. Like those days that I wear makeup, you know, just because, not because I'm doing a video or any photos or anything like that, just my own makeup, or if I'm in a hurry, this is what I pick up. It's lovely. It's lovely, and it stays all day long. My favorite thing about it is that it gives me like this beautiful glow on the skin that I do not find in most foundations or most complexion products. So maybe if you have oily skin, maybe it's gonna be a little bit too glowy. You could always bring it down a little bit with powder, you could try that. But I use it just as is, and I just love it. I love the way it feels. It's very hydrating, very refreshing. It has a perfect coverage. I keep forgetting the word coverage. It has like the perfect coverage for me because I like my skin to see through, to come through the makeup, but at the same time I don't want like all my little red spots and little things that I don't like about my skin. I don't want them to show. And then this covers it perfectly, and it lasts all day, which is very important to me. But my favorite complexion product of 2022 is by far the new Cushion Foundation by Sissy Paris. Oh my god, I think this is my favorite product in a long time. Like, if I don't know, I just love this product. And maybe at the end of 22, when I do in December, at the end of the year, when I do my favorites of 2022, I'm most likely gonna choose this unless something debunks it from the number one. Why do I love it? It is pricey. Of course, Sissy Paris is a pricey. It's a high-end skincare and makeup brand. That's out of discussion, but we're not talking about prices here. We're just talking about the best products, the best formula, and I just love it. I love the cushion, the packaging, and I love the product. It is so, again, I'm gonna keep repeating some adjectives here, but this is what's important to me and why I like the products, because of my dry skin. I need that hydration, that moisture. This product is so hydrating, and the most surprising, the best part of it is that it survives if you have if you work long hours, 8, 10, 12 hours, which sometimes I do. This lasts all day, and I'm not kidding. It does not transfer to your mask if you have to wear a mask. It doesn't transfer anywhere. It doesn't budge. It doesn't move. It looks, at the end of the day, the same way as in the beginning, in the morning when you put it on. Like, it looks just the same, and it looks natural, like if you have nothing on. It is just fascinating because it has everything that I want for a complexion product. It has a perfect coverage. It's hydrating. It doesn't budge. I don't wear masks a lot, but sometimes when I do, I like to know that it's not going to be transferred. My product is going to be transferred to my mask. And this is mask-free, sweat-proof, not mask-free, mask-proof and sweat-proof. I forgot to mention, probably the most important one here in South Florida, it's sweat-proof. Here it's hot, it's humid, and I promise you, at least for me, and I've seen it in other makeup lovers and influencers and all that, they've said the same thing. I haven't heard a negative review about it just yet. I haven't. Everything has been positive, but everybody says the same thing. It's sweat-proof and mask-proof. I guarantee it for me 100%. It's an amazing product, and I'm gonna stop talking about it because then this whole video is gonna be talking just about the Cushion Foundation. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go down the list. I had to write everything down so I wouldn't forget. So the next items I want to talk to you about is concealer. There are two concealers that they were released in 2022. I believe they were released, both of them, in 2022, but at least I discovered them in 2022. And it's the Dior Backstage Concealer and the concealer from Say. About the Dior concealer, when I got it, I was a little bit hesitant because my favorite concealer of all times is the Dior, I forgot the word right now, but the Dior Skin Correct concealer. That is my favorite concealer of all time. When this one came out, I was a little bit like, you know what, it's probably not gonna be as good. You know, you have that this predisposition of something, and that's what I felt about this concealer. But I was very surprised. It's not the same, it's not exactly the same as the Dior Skin Correct, but it is very good. It's a little bit more, it looks a little bit more matte when you put it on, although it has like a different applicator, which I'm not a fan of. I like the doe foot applicators. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit matte, but when you apply it on, it's really creamy. It's very it's high coverage. It covers my dark circles. It brightens my eye area. It's lovely. And the Say concealer, some people, I've read some negative reviews about it, but I don't know why, because I have it on today. It's not high coverage, it's light coverage, but I think it's fine for those light makeup days. It's creamy, but it doesn't accentuate my fine lines under my eyes here. Or I also apply concealer over here. It doesn't accentuate my fine lines there. I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing is that, of course, it's not high coverage, but otherwise I think it's perfect, and it's very creamy, very nice, very light, hydrating, and I like it. You see, I have it on now, and there's no grayness, no patchiness, no accentuating fine lines. I think it's a gorgeous concealer. So for powder, there's a few powders that I've tried recently, but I'm only going to talk about one because this one was released I believe it was again, I think it was released in 2022. It's the, again, Say was a brand that I discovered in 2022. I hadn't used anything from the brand before. I don't think I have. So for me, it's a new brand, but I loved it. I love everything that I tried so far. And this is the Radiant Loose Setting Power in the shade Translucent. I have it on now. It's perfect for me. I love it. I'm including in this list because it doesn't, I use it very lightly to bring down a little bit of, if I have some extra glow, or if the product is a little bit sticky, I try to, you know, just apply a little bit. And because it's translucent, it doesn't really add color, but it does a nice job of bringing down a little bit that glow, and also kind of right now I can't think of the word, but like dampening, not dampening, kind of how would you say in English? I can't remember now in English. It does a good job in my pores. I have accentuated pores here in this area and in my nose, and it does a really good job of that word. And you guys know, once I remember, I'll say it, or if I remember while editing, I'll pop it up here in the screen. I've been having a few bad days and my mind is like a little bit foggy, so that's why I can't remember some words that I use all the time. Anyways, it's good for that because it doesn't really bring out my pores more. It just gives you like a nice coverage of my pores. I think you know what I mean. It does a really good job in that area, so that's why I like it. All right, let's go on with eyes. So I discovered, or I want to talk about a couple of products for the eyeshadows, and one of them is the Sissy Paris Liquide. It's called the Ombre Eclat Liquide. I only have 3 shades, which is number 4 Coral, and then we have number 2 Copper, and number 6 is Wild. And I did a video talking about them. I've used it a bunch of times already, and this is what they look like. I love it. Okay, maybe you remember, if you've been following me for a while, you remember last year when Chanel came out with their liquid eyeshadows, and I always do this comparison. When they came out with the liquid eyeshadows, I really did not like them because they would take forever to dry, so they would never apply nicely, and I'll have to wait I don't know how long for it to dry. You know, I never really liked them. But then these are so much better. They're way better. They take a little bit less to dry, like they take like maybe a minute to dry, maybe less, but it gives you time to work with it. It gives you time to put it, apply where you want to. If it takes too long to dry, then you cannot build it up, or you cannot add more colors. It doesn't apply the same, but these apply very nicely. I know with the Chanel ones, you would see like the color would dissipate really fast, and then you'll see like those little lines that you get when you apply concealer or liquid product on your eyelids, you know what I mean? But with the Sissy Paris ones, like I don't get that issue. They're just beautiful. They're perfect. The color is really, really nice, and they look so pretty because it's not heavily pigmented. They're not like really thick on the eyes. It just feels very light. It gives you like that wet look, but even after it dries, you get that wet look, but they're not wet. So I love them. Sticking with eyes, I want to talk about 2 quads. These are very similar. I think they're very similar, but I love them both, and I want to talk about them. Is a Tom Ford Meadowlast and the Shantikai Giraffe Eye Quartet. The Meadowlast, I believe, I don't think they're on stock anymore. You won't find them anymore. But it's a beautiful quad. I loved it. So in case that you cannot find this anymore, I suggest you get the Shantikai one. It's not a dupe. I would never say it's a dupe because they're both beautiful in their own, they have their own merit. But I'm saying if you can find it, you could always use this, and they are very similar. Not exactly the same, but they're very similar, and they're gorgeous. I've done full reviews about these quads, and I've used them a bunch of times, so I'm gonna try to find video where I use both, or I compare them both, and I'll put it at the end of this video so you guys could check it out if you're interested. And again, they're not dupes of one another, but this one is out of stock. I haven't seen it anymore, so then if you don't find it, or maybe you don't find it in a cosmetic company store, on an outlet or something like that, then you could get this instead, or get both. If you have both, great, but if you can't find this one, then this is a perfect I would say perfect replacement, or a perfect, just a, I wouldn't say, I don't want to say copy or dupe. So it's just a perfect quad if you don't find this one, but you should get this one anyways if you can, because it's beautiful. Okay, so the next quad I want to talk about is from Chanel. Is the Mediterranean quad. Let me show you what it looks like in case you haven't seen it. I also did a video with this quad. It's just beautiful. It's like my favorite colors. Very nude, like nude, neutral, but it does have a pretty shimmer. Let me swatch it. And the design, if you look closely, it has like these little riggeds, like, you know, I think of it like the sun, like the Mediterranean sun. And this is, look at that color, how, sorry, it's the middle finger, but look how pretty that color is. Let me swatch these three. They're so pretty. I love this quad, and it's been, I've had not entirely very good experiences with Chanel quads before. Not all of them, but some of them have been a little bit like but this one really brought it back to me, and I just love it because they're really soft but really pretty. I also want to say that these aren't like the only makeup that I've loved in 2022. I'm just trying to bring out the highlights, because otherwise this video will be 4 hours long if I were to talk about everything that I've loved in 2022. I'm just bringing out the highlights, you know. And the last eyeshadow palette or eyeshadows I want to talk about is from Cindy Grace. I haven't seen videos talking about this eyeshadow, or I don't remember. And this came out in 22. It's my first experience with Cindy Grace. And I just love the eyeshadow palette, the formula. It is so nice, so soft. There was no fallout on my face. It's beautiful. This is the Be Mine palette. It came out during Valentine's Day, around that area, around that time. And I just love the shades like these two, because I love shimmers. Let me just swatch these two shimmers and that gold in the bottom. See how pretty they are. These are a little bit more pigmented, of course, than the Chanel one. And look how beautiful. And I just swirled it once. Look how beautiful they are. Like, I don't hear people talking about this eyeshadow in particular. There was 2 versions. That's not true. I did see someone review them. Michelle Wong reviewed them. And there was somebody else. I just can't remember who it was. There's 2 versions, the light and the darker version. I got the lighter version, but they're very, very similar. Almost identical, just with slight differences. And I loved it, and I plan on getting more eyeshadows in the future. Maybe on their sale, they call it Christmas on July. Maybe I'll get that, a couple more shades, because they're lovely. Bronzer and blush, I can't really say like what's my favorite so far. I'm trying a new one today, so I don't want to talk about them because this is for like the second half of 22. The Say bronzer, the Nars bronzer that just came out. I have tried it, but I'm not including this list again because I just tried them on, and it's more like for the second half of 2022. The Chanel, the new reformulated one, I have it somewhere here. This one, the first one dried up on me, but this one is really, really nice. So maybe this one would be like my favorite bronzer so far of 2022. The Say one is really nice, as you can see. It's really, really nice. This is a Chanel one. I like it because it's kind of like a cream and a powder at the same time. It's a light color, easy to blend, and if you make the mistake by any chance, if you make any mistakes, then it's easy fix. It's no big deal. And blush, I really did not think of one that really like wowed me. Like, I can't think of one right now, but I can think of a highlight, and it's the one by Victoria Beckham. This came out very recently. I cannot stop talking about it. I'm not wearing it today because I'm trying another product, but I can't stop talking about this highlight, and I can't stop wearing it like when I'm not doing videos for YouTube or anything like that. Just my regular everyday makeup. This is what I've been using. It's just lovely. I just love the way it's like a wet look. So if you don't like wet looks, then you probably won't like this highlight, but I like it, and you only need a little bit. You could either get it with your finger or get it directly with a brush. I like to do it with a finger, and it's very portable. It looks like a lipstick. You can take it anywhere. I think it's lovely. All right, let's go to lipsticks, and there's two lipsticks that I want to talk about. First is a Jimmy Choo, which I used in my last YouTube video, and it is a pain in the butt to to store it, but it is a beautiful product, beautiful packaging, and it's a beautiful lipstick. I'm not wearing it today. I'm wearing Lisa Eldridge's Palazzo that I've been trying out. So it's not this lipstick, but I did use it in that video I just mentioned, and oh, it's beautiful. Look at this red. It is so creamy. It's like a red orange, my favorite type. It is so creamy, so beautiful. And look at that bullet. It is so luxurious. Like, I love it. And it smells so good, and the packaging is gorgeous. I really like it. But let's go to the other extreme. Like, I like that light makeup, very hydrating lipstick. Although the Jimmy Choo one is very hydrating, very soft, really buttery. But the ones I want to talk next are different because they're more between like a lip balm and a lipstick. And I'm referring to the Sissy Paris Fito Rouge Shine. I got 3 shades. Number 10, Sheer Nude, which is the one that I use the most. Number 11, Sheer Blossom. And number 31, Sweet Chili. I've used it many times. You've probably seen it a bunch of times. Here's what they look like. And here are the lipsticks. And they smell so good. So delicious. This is what they look like. They're so pretty. This is Sweet Nude. Then we have Sweet Chili. I mean, Sheer Nude, I'm sorry. Sheer Nude. And then in the middle we have Sheer Blossom. And then the top is Sheer Chili. They're so nice. So light on the lips. They feel so good. Like you feel your lips are healthier, more plumper. I don't know. I just love them. And they're the lipsticks that I am reaching out for more lately. So I love them very much. Finally, I do want to talk about brushes. You know, if you see my videos, you know how I love BK Beauty and Sony G. And now I've discovered the Sydney Grace brushes. And I got like the whole collection of their new brushes. Let me just show you one so you have an idea. I've been using these brushes and I love them. Look how beautiful they are. The handle is gorgeous. And the hairs, the fibers, what are they called? They're really fluffy, really soft. I love these brushes. And Sonia G Niji Pro is one that I also want to mention because this is the one that I use for bronzing. I love this brush. I love the handle. I love the bristles. There's the word. I love the bristles. Also very soft, and the way that it's cut, the angle is perfect for applying bronzer. I love that brush. And of course I love the BK Beauty brushes, the foundation concealer brush, but those weren't released in 2022, so I'm not going to talk about them. But the Sydney Grace were, and they're just fabulous brushes. So I had to share those with you. They're really soft and just lovely to apply makeup. They pick up the product very nicely and they diffuse the makeup perfectly, so I love them. Alright, so I think I went down my list. I'm still thinking about, mascara. The last thing I want to talk about mascara. I'm always trying new mascaras. I got the new Lancome Le Wheat Hypnose, what's it called? The Wheat mascara, the 8, but I haven't tried it yet. So I'm not going to include it in this list, but I've heard it's really good. It's amazing. But I will have a review for you guys very soon. But I do want to mention again, Say, a new brand for me, but this was also a new mascara for me and I'm wearing it today. You will not get like the super long, you know, falsy looking lashes. No, they're just very natural looking, very subtle, but it does have a really nice extension and it does fan out and coat every lash. So that's why I like it. And the applicator is like the thin type that you can really get into the small spaces, and then it has like in the tip it has some little hairs, some little bristles that you could get it for like those, the inner corner and the outer corner, really get there. I love it. I love the formula. It's really good. It doesn't transfer, it doesn't budge, it lasts all day, and it's a lovely mascara. Yeah, that is what I wanted to talk to you about. I do have a lot of makeup to try, so I'll let you guys know in future videos. So let me know down below if you tried any of these products, if they were your favorites, if you hated them, if you didn't like them. Tell me, D, I think that item was horrible. But if you liked any of it, let me know. If you used any of them, let me know. And what is your favorite, ultimate favorite of 2022? Let me know down below. I'm very curious to know. And if there's anything that you want me to try as well, let me know. I'm gonna have a list, or at least a link to all the items that I mentioned today, or most of them, because some of them might be out of stock, like the Tom Ford Meadowlast. I think that's out of stock, but I'm gonna put a link or links of everything that I've mentioned today, as well as what I have on today. It's a very light makeup day, but I'll leave everything down below in the description box. Thank you so much for coming over. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.